Alright, ladies and gentlemen, how are you all doing? Welcome to Sprout versus Vitality, one of the final days of Mountain Dew League upon us. Fairly certain that all of the matches come to an end over this weekend, and of course, is just one of those in the cycle. Sprout versus Vitality. Of course, as we do get into this best of one, it is going to be on Mirage. Vitality probably set to win this one, but who knows? Anything can happen. These sort of matches with the online atmosphere, with the best of one aspect, it's always going to be up in the air. Even if you're playing side against the fourth best team in the world, the 100th best team in the world. These best of ones, so random that we should see a very interesting match, to say the least. Let's just, you know, have a discussion about the elephant in the room. Yes, Vitality's flag isn't French. We know that. Because their coach is the country, I'm pretty sure it reads off of him. So, let's just address the elephant in the room, and we'll move on from it. It looks like Vitality, this pistol round going to be starting pretty well. It's and Zywu that find themselves too, but Keto and Spiddy to respond with a triple of their own. Nice grenade. Will force Keto at least out of position. Has the bomb in hand, and these forces a little bit of a push out of MBK. Although with Keto and Searson both able to close it down. Makes it into that 1 versus 1 scenario. Finished off the round. Sprout, they'll find themselves an opening pistol, and this will really start to get that T side a little more comfortable. The mic's cutting out again. Fair enough, 1 second. That should be a little better. Alright, we should be fine now. Shouldn't be cutting out whatsoever. Still, back to the second round, and it should be fairly simple for Sprout. Shouldn't be facing off against too much difficulty in this scenario, especially considering that Vitality only have those pistols. Caster who reads chat. I'm always reading chat. Especially in these solo games, it's what keeps us, you know, sane at some points. We like to interact with chat a little bit. Especially when there's a nice game like Vitality, it's always good to see them playing with these online matches. Obviously with the packed schedule they have. Still, Alex to open up in the initial gun round, though. Vitality, as they have gone for the obvious buy round this time. The utility isn't as strong as they would like, but they've been able to guarantee the core fundamentals of the round, and that's where it begins to favor them, as Apex, he'll be sat on Ninja, a sneaky move to make, but it's Searson that finally closes him down. Alex to be spotting Farvan inside of that smoke, however, and down to a 1 versus 2. With Searson on the AWP and the bomb in the hands of Alex, he can play the time to his advantage. He can work out where the final man is. And now that they have done, even with Searson to land the first onto MBK, Alex is there to clean it up eventually, and that'll see Sprout losing that initial gun round. They won that. They start very, very nicely on that T side, but Vitality, they make instant impact. They do lose 3 players, which does make their economy a little unsettled. But for now, they should be fine with just making the force buy, especially when they can guarantee a couple of rifles. But even so, with Vitality now onto that AWP by Zywu. Oh, MBK is able to dive over toward the apartments. Even gets out of the window pretty safe as well. Keto to find a frag of his own, but Zywoo, there he is. Onto the AWP, a beautiful double out of him, and that will close down the round in itself. Yeah, the flags are always an issue in this game. I think it's because the coach or manager of Vitality isn't in France, obviously. So it reads the flag from the manager or the coach rather than it does the players. But even so, this time, Sprout going to be finding themselves at least being able to put a bomb plant into the round, so guaranteeing some minimal economy to be gained, but Vitality with a one-man advantage, they should be looking to close this out fairly swiftly, and as Alex already shuts down Speedy, they realize where the final man is of Satan, and with the Galil in hand, he's probably not as favored as he would like to be. That Molotov not spreading to him, though. So at least gives him a little bit of security, and as he closes down Searson, as Apex, there's Alex and Sprout, they actually win themselves the round. Closing it down in a 1 versus 3, and that keeps Sprout very, very comfortable. That's a beautiful 1 versus 3. And as Vitality back down into an eco now, this is a beautiful start out of the T side, guaranteeing at least 4 rounds to begin with here. What a beautiful way to begin. Keto going into round number 5, able to shut down Alex very early. There should be nothing coming from this round whatsoever, considering the fact that Vitality have invested absolutely nothing. A couple of upgraded pistols, but it's nothing close to successful. As Sprout make their way up towards short, Spiddy able to find a first, even though Apex does land the trade at least. Keto to find the return frag and make it a 4 versus 2. A very simple round for Sprout, to say the least. Searson, however, does get shut down by Zywoo, which, a little unfortunate in itself, but they will be able to keep the AWP alive as Keto picks that one up. 35 on the clock, and Zywoo, he's down to 5 bullets and actually retrieves himself a Galil. They do now realize that he is going back toward Kitchen, and they will be able to put the bomb down towards A, but even so, losing themselves a couple of men when the economy isn't that strong is going to affect them, because Vitality now, they're going to go into the buy round for the next, meaning they have plenty of money, where realistically Sprout, yes, they've got a bomb plant and probably the round victory themselves, but with Farven and Searson down to low economy, they're going to rely on the drops. Keto missing the first shot as well, but luckily there is Murbit to clean it up. But thankfully for Sprout, they do survive in the round itself. Vitality able to go for the buy round. And Sprout, especially now that they've had a decent start here on the T side, you're looking to keep it up going into the gun round, and I mean, doing so would almost guarantee that Sprout have a very comfortable T side, especially against Vitality, who themselves won't want to be giving this many rounds to Sprout, as they will transition into the CT side for the second half. Honestly, Sprout, they've looked absolutely solid over the past few matches that we've seen them play. Obviously able to qualify for the minor very convincingly, then keeping up the run of pace into their ESEA matches as well. It's been a very successful few weeks for them. And if you saw the game yesterday against Epsilon, obviously we were discussing the fact that, beautiful shot by Searson, by the way, we were discussing the fact that Sprout have played very little online tournaments and shown nothing to their opponents, making them pretty fresh against the teams in and around MDL, the qualifiers they're playing in. You can really see that this team is starting to gel together. A beautiful round in itself, and Vitality with absolutely nothing to respond. RPK is left into a 1 versus 4, and even as tanky as he's known to be, it's not going to provide too much in this round itself. And this will keep Sprout at a nice little advantage. 5-1 going into the next round, and with Vitality expending their entire bank balance, they will be forced onto, again, another eco, maybe some pistols and Kevlar, but it's nothing close to special. RPK should be able to guarantee himself a kill, though, and does as he closes out Murbit, but there we have it. Sprout as they go up 5-1. Again, a decent start out of the German side, of course, but we'll be wanting to head into, again, that sort of force buy round out of Vitality. It should be another gift to Sprout. They shouldn't be losing a situation like this realistically. And as Zywoo gathers himself a little bit of information, Sprout taking some positive mid-control. They can split towards short now with the further 2 members to come from the apartment position. Zywoo, will he be able to sit in the molly? No, he can't. It spreads at least into the corner. And there's Farvan as he's not expecting the boost. A nice first kill to open the round with, and that should see where Sprout close out the victory. RPK to fall himself, and as Keto, he'll find one. It's Farvan that makes the most impact. A 3k for him, and MBK left alone. And a very, very solid display out of Sprout so far. These eco rounds are probably the worst to face against, because if your opponents get themselves maybe 1 or 2 kills in the early phase of the round, then that's where it gets dramatically worse, because then the mentality of the team slips. We've seen many sides where, you know, a 5-7, a scout's maybe gotten a kill, but the rest of the side has just flopped around it, and it's provided an eco victory. But fortunately, Sprout, they are competent enough to be able to make sure that that doesn't happen. Again, a rebuy to come out of Vitality, however, and an AWP in the hands of Zywoo Apex. Oh, dear. the nade not going to work in his favor this time. Insert Apex screaming .mp4. But Sprout, they'll be at least looking again for some mid control. I do like the fact that Sprout themselves are confident enough to make their way out inside of middle. It's one of those angles where you can get so man down, but Keto, what a spray transfer. Both Apex and Alex closed out of the round, and not too sure, there was no reaction out of the player top middle. Murbit to close down RPK, and as they lock out the B bomb site, that's the round gone itself. And that's going to see Sprout up to a 7-1, but the scary part is they're losing rifles left, right, and center. They can't even afford to save because Sprout, they're just constantly on their case. And even as MBK to close down 1, Sprout know that they get the money back in return. So they can just go and hunt, and I'm not too sure why he's peeking, because it's certain death. As they close down every single rifle, there's Vitality. You can see, even though they get the round loss bonus starting to mount in their favor, it's still Vitality that can't afford to fall by. So again, it's back down to those pistols. And so, going Going to see Sprout again wanting to exuberate that mid control. It is so nice to see with a side confident enough to keep taking mid on a T side. It's, again, just showing how strong of a T side that Sprout are looking to be. Again, you can kind of say that Vitality are handing them the free control with the fact that they're not playing in more of an orthodox manner. But as long as Vitality aren't adjusting, Sprout are just going to keep on running it. And already with MBK down to a single point of health, ZywOo going to start to burn in the Molotov. They know of at least a second man in here, and as MBK falls, that should be able to lock out the round now. Murbit, as he closes out ZywOo, the smoke's going to prevent Vitality from peeking, and that should be the bomb planted. A nice tag actually onto Spitty. The grenade to maybe inflict some further damage as well, but as Farvan and Keto able to lock out the round, an 8-1. Luckily this time though, Vitality are able to go for that purchase. They get themselves the AUGs, and ZywOo should be able to buy himself the AWP. But with 4 kills across 3 players and 3 on Apex, even ZywOo having a quiet game himself, and Sprout, that's the best thing for them. As long as they keep key players like ZywOo, like Apex, quiet in this game, that's going to be where they get their rounds from. This time, he's able to utilize that short smoke in his favor, and as he closes down Murbit, I think that's one of the first times in the CT side where Vitality, they've found the first entry kill. Keto going absolutely monstrous, right? 17-5. MBK. So he adds a second kill onto the board. Keto peeking into the flashbang. Oh my god, look at Farvan. Oh my gosh, RPK. He's going to realize, but it was a little bit late. I'm pretty sure Farvan just spotted Apex as well. Yes, he did. He even knows there might be a man towards short, and as the smoke goes down, that's such good game sense by Sprout. They're going to be able to get themselves out onto that B bomb site. They put the bomb down, and into this 2 versus 2 with ZywOo trapped behind the smoke. Farvan, he might even have the chance to aggress as he locks out the first. Oh my god, ZywOo trapped in the corner. He doesn't even die. I'm so confused. Vitality, 9-1, and Sprout, they get themselves yet another round. What is going on right now? We have to give massive credit to Sprout, though, because Farvan's flank is what won them the round. As soon as Farvan's able to take out those 2 players, he even knew there was a third, and that's the best thing about it. Again, going to make further impact as he takes out Alex. Apex to fall as well, and again, another simple round for the Germans. Still looking so good for Vitality. Oh, sorry, for Sprout. Definitely not for Vitality. Jesus Christ. This has honestly been a blinder of a game from Sprout, but I think this is a summary of just how good these past couple of weeks have been for Sprout. They bring in Keto, essentially saving him from Epsilon, but then making Epsilon themselves significantly weaker. But what does Sprout care? They qualified for the minor. They make it through to the playoffs of the Cologne qualifier. And they're doing pretty well in MDL, being able to match up against 4th best in the world. I think this is really showing how good this side is going to be. And as Vitality bringing out the double AWP setup, they're going to need a miracle to be able to find rounds in this first half. Searson already able to go for the peak MBK flashbang. He tried to be smart and peek around it, but it's not going to work for him. This time at least going to see Sprout heading inside of underpass, but as Keto... Oh my gosh, the 180. Apex should have had a double maybe there, but... Keto able to keep the team alive. Farvan spraying the smoke and still... able to come out with RPK. Spitty closes down one, and that's the round itself. Sprout yet again going to be controlling Vitality in this map entirely. Their money down into the dirt this time, and there is nothing that they can do. Once again, the Frenchman's down to pistols. Farvan's just reading Zywoo like a book, though. Alex tried it in the previous eco, and then Zywoo repeats it. Not too sure what output they were expecting as he goes absolutely monstrous. It's looking so good for Sprout. And Vitality as they just get read like an open book. This time Apex, beautiful deagle shots. Finding himself a double at least to make the round seem a little better. There is a flank coming out at least from Alex, but with the way that Sprout seemingly are prepared for this, Farvan does have to be a little careful, but what does it matter at this point? Oh my gosh, RPK just gets absolutely stomped on as well. 12-1. Vitality, if they don't win a single round here after their first one, oh my gosh, it is going to be such a disappointment from this side. Obviously, MDL isn't, their main priority. But when you're playing to make it into Pro League, that's your main objective. You play this online league to make it to the biggest league in Counter-Strike. You don't think, oh, this is a single best of one, what should it really matter? Because that attitude won't get you into Pro League. This time, Zywoo and MBK able to find themselves two, but Keto is even able to walk through smokes. And as Farvan to shut out Apex, it's down onto RPK. Not that he has a chance to survive, though. Does this season of MDL get you into Pro League? You have to come top, I believe, 8, maybe 4 in MDL. Or top 3 or something. I know that 3 teams go to the Global Challenge, and then the winner of the Global Challenge qualifies for MDL, and the second place gets into into EPL, and I think the second place gets into EPL relegation, I'm pretty sure. Ooh, MBK, was he spotted by Farvan edge of the smoke, though? Not too sure. The auto shotgun finally to rip them apart. It seems like Vitality, they've got themselves a round here eventually. Valiance, well, crazy next EPL for sure. They're in good contention for it, I've got to say. With the way that they were able to win 16-0 in their MDL season. Just shows how good of a side that Valiance, well, crazy now is looking to be. I think there's definitely a chance of them making it into Pro League. I think that would be the beautiful step up for them. Vitality currently are sitting in 3rd place, though. So, providing that they win the game against Gamer Legion, they should be able to remain inside of playoffs, because Gamer Legion themselves have 2 final games. Although, depending how those 2 final games go for Gamer Legion, if they beat both Vitality and Csgo, I believe it is, then they probably keep their playoff position and go to the MDL Challenge. Still, this time, though, we are going to get our second half underway. Honestly, it is going to be an interesting game, to say the least. If Vitality can keep up the pistol, if they can put that in their favor and find success here, then potentially there is a way for them to make a comeback in this game. But, I mean, up to now, it is not looking all that great. Honestly, I'd agree, Kalanji. Underestimating Sprout at this point seems like a downfall of many people's estimations. They've looked like a really solid side since they qualified for the minor. And even just during MDL itself, they have looked like a pretty competent team. Farven, he's able to keep up the pace of this round, and as Searson collides for one more, it's RPK to trade, but again, Searson to keep the round advantage in their favor. MBK inside of CT. Nice dink onto Murbit. At least able to escape toward jungle, however, but they realize now that maybe Vitality will split toward this B bomb site. They've definitely realized it here, though. Murbit does at least get finished off and back down into a 2 versus 3. Still, 2 players to make their way inside of Kitchen. Searson taps out a first, and Keto with the second. A simple retake for Sprout. And that will see Vitality 14-2. Yes, they get themselves the bomb plant, and yes, they probably go for the buy round here, but even so, it is not going to really matter. And this is now, of course, where it is looking like the end of the game for Vitality. They lose this round, and they probably give Sprout a 16-2, but they win this round, they maybe get themselves back into the game. But the prospect of that is so unlikely. However, Searson, he'll be tagged down to 30 points of health. The Scout going to tag him at least. Oh, Spitty, did he spot the barrel of RPK? Well, he definitely did. Smoke to go down, and Apex down to 4 HP. Farven, he's just sat in a smoke. Traded into a 4v2, and with Apex down to 4 points of health, well, this round seems like an absolute catastrophe, much like this entire map for Vitality. And with Apex dead already, even with ZywOo on the SG, it's going to make no difference at all. 15-2, and a potential 16-2 on the cards as well, which would be absolutely insane if it was to happen. Again, just proving that Sprout, they're going to be such an entity both online, and I can't wait to see them at LAN, honestly. Once they go to that minor, if they perform at the minor and make it to the major, that's going to be an insane run of, like, quiet to absolutely booming in like a month and a half. So with pistols, Kevlar, and a little bit of utility, that is all they're going to be able to muster up. Alex to be dropped down to 43. And even further impacted. 3 points of health remaining for him, and as Searson able to land the first, even looking for more, it's Farven that's able to clean sweep, but MBK to find 2 in return. Bomb to be collected at least, although Murbit to come from CT himself. Flashbang to be made, although the tag onto Apex, and as Keto finds 1, it's MBK that's able to clean up, and there's ZywOo to close it out. Vitality somehow winning themselves a pistol round, and they keep themselves in the game just for now. 15-3, and Sprout not able to do the unthinkable. But, I mean, realistically, they're already there, right? It will go for a force buy this time, however, which losing would probably give Vitality a 5th round or so. As Farven tagged down low, it's Spitty. It's able to land himself an initial kill. He's even looking for more, and as Keto, oh my gosh, Keto! Farven, that's the game itself. It's down to Apex, and it's not gonna work. as Sprout able to close it out 16-3. It didn't even matter that Vitality won a round because Sprout just absolutely annihilate them. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the game in itself. That's going to be Sprout taking a 16-3. An absolutely monumental result. And with that being said, we will have a slight little bit of downtime before our second game of the evening. XCOM versus Alternate Attacks as we go into our second best of one of the evening. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you have enjoyed the broadcast thus far and would like to find yourself following the channel, seeing more of our content, then please be sure to hit that follow button above the stream to get interactive. We reply to chat. We have a nice little laugh with chat. We're all nice and friendly around here. And we are only like 350 followers away from 10,000, so that's going to be a nice little milestone to hit. But with that being said, again, we are going to go into a little bit of a downtime. We have around 20 minutes or so before the start of the next best of one. XCOM versus Alternate Attacks on Vertigo. Going to be an interesting map to say the least, considering XCOM do play that themselves quite regularly. But we'll be live in around 20 minutes. Well, we'll keep the stream live anyway, so if you're in chat and want to have a little conversation, then be sure to stick around. But we'll be live for the game itself in around 20 minutes or so.